So I started the chairman dances, I guess just after I finished my program in musicology. So we're named after an outtake from a John Adams opera called Nixon in China. And it was right around that time that I had my spiritual reawakening. So the lyrics sort of from the start were, well, they had to do with what I was reading, which was things that make me excited. So fiction that has to do with faith, especially Marilyn Robinson, but also theologians. I think the Chairman Dances is somewhat eclectic. I guess it's rock and folk and whatever we're interested in at the time. I really love jazz singers. I study with a jazz singer. Maybe I'll begin with the song that starts our album. I'll do the first verse. The song is called Alone at Waverly, and it was inspired by dear friends of mine who are a bit older, and I met them in a church basement at a soup kitchen that they helped run. I live alone at Waverly. I have my own house with a big TV. I haven't watched TV since the kids were young. Lucinda passed 3 years ago. She was 70. That sounds old, but it isn't. Not really. We had just moved here. Becky flew in from Arizona. Jenny drove from Tacoma. Brought the grandkids, brought the husbands. We bounced the babies on our knees, on our shoulders. I still work occasionally. It keeps me busy. It keeps me happy. That's the first part of Alone at Waverly. So our new album is called Small Comforts. It came out the last week in January. We've made a number of albums, I guess, trying to do something different every time. Our vision for this was to strip back a little bit. Sometimes our albums are highly orchestrated. So this one is a little leaner, and lyrically I was looking to, I guess before I made songs, write written pieces. I always spend a good time on the words, but it sort of seemed like the next logical step was to make actual poems, actual short stories, sort of flash short stories. So there's a lot of words, and in that sense, I was setting them kind of like a composer would, where the text is extant. So rather than sitting down and writing lyrics and music at the same time, which is really wonderful, and wonderful songs have been made that way, I was sort of starting with a text and setting the text to music. So on our album, it's a number of free verse poems specifically and short fiction. So I think that's maybe what makes this album unique. We begin. Our help is in the name of the Lord, who made heaven and earth. During intercessions, Jason raises his hand, lets us know he'd like to speak. He exhales deeply. He says, since his brother passed,
Gosh, was that a year ago now? He's felt as if he's been floating just above himself, as if one of the two strings that tether the soul to the body has been cut. That tether the soul to the body has been cut.
This song, Margaret, what I like about it musically, my part, is that I'm mostly playing 18th century, so classical like voice leading and harmonies, so you get a lot of like and instead of suspensions like a church, you get this, and you get inversions that sound very idiomatic of that. Just a musical nerd thing.
Don't I know you? I don't think so. What do you do? I'm a singer, Esther snorts. I mean, what do you do for money? Oh, 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 Margaret rushes back to her guest, puts Alex's hand in hers, leads him to the couch, pay her no mind. Truly thank you for coming. He thanks you too. She points to the bump in her dress. Esther shambles over, apologizes. Alex sees now she's drunk. Betty Crocker cake, dollar store party hats, the most pathetic baby shower there ever was. Oh.